Well, it's another fine day in hell. The harpies are singing. The people in the lava are screaming. It's a good day, wouldn't you say?
I certainly enjoy being in hell down here with my pals, shitposting.
Yeah, and I do enjoy being able to gaze upon Satan on his throne.
He's looking nice over there.
He does look really good today.
You ever thought about having sex with Satan? Wouldn't that be weird?
I mean, I don't know if that's very politically correct.
Depends on his response, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say.
Would Satan be gay? Or you think he'd want to fuck everybody, right? Since he's Satan.
Yeah, I think that'd be true. I don't know. I don't think he'd say no.
But then, that's pretty mean to bisexuals.
But I mean, who would be crazy enough to do it? That's the question.
I don't know. Is there a person crazy enough to fuck Satan?
Oh my God!
Oh
Whoa.
my God! Oh,
do you guys see that?
Did I see what I thought I saw?
Oh my God! It's DMX. What are you doing down here, dude? What? How is it?
He's
he
fighting.
gonna give it to you?
He's fighting Prince Philip right now.
Oh my God! Oh, what?
But wait, besides those people, what's that?
Where's Jeffrey Epstein? Is he in heaven?
Oh my God!
Is that
Satan? Oh,
is that Lil Nas X wearing assless chaps?
What's he doing down here?
Oh my God! Oh
Hey,
my
dude.
God! Lil Nas X, holy
That is
shit.
not appropriate, man. Come on.
I mean,
that's pretty good. That's pretty
did
good.
You come here voluntarily?
His shoes.
You know, it's
his
not a very nice place.
His shoes look pretty good though.
Yeah. What's he doing? Oh my God! He's going over to the devil. No way. No way.
Wow. Oh.
No fucking way.
So I guess we do get to see someone that wants to fuck Satan.
Wow, what a coincidence.
Why is Satan just like sitting there?
You think
He's enjoying it.
I thought he'd be more responsive personally.
Like Satan is just kind of like expressionlessly like looking at. Oh, there's a camera.
Oh, and he's dead.
There's a camera crew here too.
Oh shit.
Oh God, we got to stay out of the frame, guys. Jeez.
I don't want to end up on one of those live leak sites
or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's dangerous down here, man.
Gay
Might be hit
man.
by a train.
Gay man fucks Satan and dies. That's straight to the homepage.
Oh, dude, you get so many views. Ripped to Live Leak, my favorite website.
Merge. I just saw this on YouTube. Merge. You gotta go.
Homer, I don't think you should be watching Live Leak. It's a bad example for the children.
Bobby, I want you to stop watching gay man fuck the devil and then dies. It's not a good video.
But Dad, all the kids at school are watching. Dad, my friends are making me watch it and they're fucking me, Dad.
God damn it. God damn it, buddy, you gotta stand up for yourself. Stop getting fucked.
Speaking of
Getting fucked.
Speaking of getting fucked, we're about to fuck you mentally with a new concept we'd like to get into. Just recently, I, with the help of my fellow geniuses, came up with a concept we'd like to call the Seth Macfarlane paradox. And the core criteria of the paradox is that Family Guy, and by extension other cringe comedy shows, when viewed as a singular episode, are not funny.
Absolutely.
But when you take scenes or clips, moments even, if you will, from these Family Guy episodes and view them separately, without any context, these clips normally only being like 10 to 12 seconds long at most, they're suddenly funny. And so, me and my compatriots have been trying to figure out what makes this difference. Why is something that's together not funny when it becomes separate? So what are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, our goal here is to solve the Macfarlane paradox, and someone needs to start first. I'd say whoever has the most well thought out answer, and that is me. So, the Macfarlane paradox. So I think a lot of it is just modern day humor in general. Like, we love stuff ironic, and out of context. That's our generation's bread and butter right there. Family Guy by itself. You're watching Family Guy, all your friends don't really watch Family Guy anymore. I mean, in our group, we don't really watch Family Guy, Maybe some of them watch Simpsons, some of us watch other shows, but generally not really a Family Guy person. Family Guy is for like your annoying cousin that you don't really want to talk to, but they just love bringing up Family Guy, right? The idea of watching Family Guy the show is cringe, but a clip, that's amazing. That's funny. Because the clip is separated from the cultural context, the cultural idea of Family Guy, which is cringe. And without the context, cringe is nothing. Cringe is funny. That's what all it is. So you see a clip and you go, Family Guy. Oh, they're doing a really bad joke. That's funny. It doesn't even have to be a good joke. It's just the fact that it's dumb or it's ridiculous or it's random can make you laugh, because that's a lot of modern humor. I mean, with so many jokes, memes can just be like a single letter, like E or whatever. That was a meme a while ago, right? Like Among Us, it's just like you find a single thing that's like looks like an Among Us guy, and that's hilarious, that's peak comedy. So with Family Guy, it totally makes sense. A clip by itself, taken away from the context of the show, is funny to us, but the show itself is not.
And I agree with you there, Professor Kevin. Professor Evan, any thoughts
What do you think?
you'd like to share with that?
I actually disagree with that idea. I think that the episode itself is funny, but we as millennial Zoomer generations have been pre-programmed to think that later episodes of Family Guy after season 3 are not funny and are cringe. More cringe than they are cringe content. Therefore, in the show, we're pre-programmed to think, this is bad, this is cringe, this is garbage, no thank you. But in reality, Seth Macfarlane is a comedy genius, and we're just refusing to accept this answer, to which, when we see it out of context, because not only are we pre-programmed to think that Family Guy episodes are cringe and bad, we are also pre-programmed to think that out of context humor is funny. And because that's what Family Guy episodes are built upon, ultimately, when taken out of context, we're seeing the episode for what it truly was, except now we think it's funny because we don't see the rest of the episode. We don't see its full affiliation to the story of Family Guy and the iconic arc of the characters that come with it.
So you think it's some sort of subliminal shaming thing that, like, more or less, people would find an episode of Family Guy funny if they somehow weren't aware that it was Family Guy. Like, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. If it were not, say, for The Simpsons as well, because people think that The Simpsons is bad as well, if you take Lisa Goes Gaga, which is considered one of the worst Simpson episodes ever created, and you take that out of context, all of a sudden, it will probably be good too.
I don't know. I think I have to disagree with you that.
You see, Evan, I'll respect you and your opinion, but I think you are the annoying cousin that I mentioned that likes Family Guy. See, because Family Guy episodes themselves are not funny. Like, after season 3, I watched an episode. It didn't make me laugh. It was terrible. It was dog shit. There were a few funny scenes, but other than that, it's not good. Just like Simpsons after season 9. It's really not good.
But that's the thing you missed, is that I, too, don't like the later seasons. I've said it myself.
Okay.
We are pre-programmed not to, because all of our amazing YouTubers, such as I Hate Everything and Cynical Asshole number 4,203 on the internet, they all think
Hey,
that
can you not
Family Guys is
talk
bad.
shit about my alternate channel, dude? Please, seriously.
Fuck you. I hope you get 0 viewers on that channel, and they all come to my epic survival Minecraft multiplayer Let's Play.
Okay,
Evan?
we're getting off topic now. Come on.
Evan, I just got added to Channel Awesome, alright? Do you have any idea how hard I've been working for that? If you jeopardize that for me now, I will wring your neck like a chicken, pal, okay?
And I'll make sure that Nostalgia Critic critiques your fucking ass.
You wouldn't!
I
You wouldn't do it!
I would, and I'll get you fired and mistreated like everyone else on that channel.
But,
Wait, hold on. We're forgetting something. So you say that Family Guy clips are funny out of context, but you brought up a good point a few days ago, or whenever it was, that if Family Guy clips are put in a Family Guy Funny Moments compilation, that's not funny. So is that another part of the contextualization of the zeitgeist that culturally we have created for ourselves? Is that a constructivist mindset? Is that Family Guy Funny Moments, generally, you call something funny, it's not funny?
I think with Family Guy, they've kind of, maybe a part of the Seth MacFarlane paradox is that there's almost kind of a inverse relationship between context and funny, and it's like a sliding scale, and the less context there is, the more funny it gets. And it's true that if you take a bunch of random Family Guy clips and put them together in a YouTube video, there is less context than there is in the show, but there's still some context. There's a title and a description. You read them and you know what you're about to see. You're saying, okay, I am about to view random Family Guy funny moments. And that's putting context into your mind for what you're about to see, even if it's only a little context. But the type of thing I'm referring about is you're scrolling through a random Twitter feed. You see someone you follow has posted a 13-second clip of Family Guy. You click on it, the clip plays, and then you laugh. there's no context, no titling. All you have is the content in its purest form. No context, and that is when it is its funniest. So any attempts to organize or herd off or otherwise label a Family Guy funny moment has already begun the decline of comedy, thus indicated by the Macfarlane paradox.
These are really good theories. We've really hit like 3 different spectrums.
Could I give another thought, just a final, or at least my final thoughts on this?
Of course.
Okay. So, I think a part of it too is very simply things that say they're funny, we don't find funny. If something is supposed to be funny, we go, no, that's not funny. We want something ironic. We want something dank. We want something that, is so ridiculous or unfunny that it becomes funny. Some of us, we watch Family Guy because it is so unfunny that we laugh. And that can be part of it. But if we see a show that's, this is a comedy show, we're supposed to laugh, we can't do that, This is supposed to be a funny meme, We can't laugh at a funny meme. We have to laugh at an unfunny meme. And that's life.
Well, my counter to that would be, what we are forgetting are the comedians. And while, say what you will about millennial and Zoomer comedians, personally, I'm not a fan of very many modern day comedians, to be completely honest with you.
I can't think of very many, personally.
But there are a lot that just, to be honest, most of them aren't very good. But they do get audiences, and people do enjoy them. And, people such as Dave Chappelle. He's probably one of he's more of the millennial generation. But, but a lot of people from our generation still know him, right? And if you want like a pure, millennial Gen Z person, we have people like John Mulaney, right? Those are probably like 2 of the most famous comedians of like our times that I can think of, right? And people do enjoy them. People find their works funny for the most part, At least someone, millions of people must find them funny, because they're very successful people, right? And so, what's up with that? Because if you watch a clip from Dave Chappelle, you are expecting to laugh. You're expecting to laugh. You know it's coming. So, do you think maybe comedians fall outside this realm because they're not pieces of content. They're human beings at the end of the day.
That throws another wrench into the paradox, actually, because in that case, when you are told that Family Guy is a comedy, but you've also been told not to like it, you're not going to think it's funny immediately, right? So you were told that it's funny, but you were also being told it's not funny. Whereas for Dave Chappelle and John Mulaney, you're not normally told at first that they're not funny. Therefore, you are just told that they are going to be funny, and you are more likely to laugh, even if the joke isn't that good. Not to say that they've made bad jokes ever. I love Pete Davidson. I fucking love Pete Davidson.
Amy Schumer's queen, the girl boss. I love her. I love SNL. I fucking love it.
Rashida Jones is the best part of every movie she's in.
But since we are told not to like it, but also that we will like it, we're more likely to lean towards the negative emotion.
Your theories all really seem to lean heavily on the principle of preconception, basically.
Yes.
Which is a real psychological concept. The idea that if you're told to perceive something a certain way, you will. Like, you have an image like the ink blot test, right? And you could see it as a butterfly, or you could see it as a dog, right? Say you make an image like that, but before you show it to them, like you say something like, "Do you see the dog in this image?" And you show it to them, and most of the time they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I see the dog," even though it's totally possible. If you did it to another group, "Do you see the butterfly in this picture?" They're like, "Oh yeah, I see the butterfly." Stuff like that. That's a real psychological concept. And so a lot of Evan's theories do seem to lean on that the reputation something has can really condition you to how you perceive it and really become a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is another real psychological concept. The idea of someone says, "Oh, if you watch this John Mulaney clip, you will laugh." And sometimes, at least some of the times, you'll watch it and you're like, "All right, I'm going to laugh at this. He said I should laugh at it, so if I want to be normal, I'm going to laugh at this." And you watch it, and you may laugh, or the prophecy doesn't come true.
Exactly.
That's not what happens most of the time, but it is possible.
Because sometimes you might show your friend a video. You say, "Oh, look at this funny video," and they don't laugh, and that hurts, right?
That's right.
Guys, please look at my fucking videos that I send, man. Come on, please.
But that brings up...
Please like them on Instagram. I swear to God. But what I've been wanting to say for a tiny bit here is that some of it is also before experience a thing and then after. Like that experience is slightly different, right? So like going into like a comedian, like you have not experienced whether he is funny or not. Like, and yeah, if you're told like they are funny or they're not funny, like you don't really know until you experience it. And if they actually are funny, you will laugh, right? Same thing with Family Guy. I mean, you might have been told like, hey, this is not funny or this is funny, and you have to really experience it to know if it is funny or not funny. And I think very simply, it can come down to sometimes that comedians are funny and Family Guy is not. And I think the experience of a Family Guy clip by itself is also somehow funny. And that is a strange contradiction.
If I could give a final verdict on your theories, Professor Evan, I think I would say that I think the self-fulfilling prophecy and the preconception principles, I do think they are in play to some effect within our society when we look at media and content. However, I think there are simply too many exceptions to those rules to say that they are extremely prevalent.
For sure.
So I think whether something follows the rules of preconception or the self-fulfilling prophecy, we'd simply have to view it on a case-by-case basis, either by the media they're viewing, or I think it's actually, at least according to psychology, it's entirely possible that certain people are more likely to be influenced by that kind of thing, So that's my opinion, that I do think there is some validity to your theory, but ultimately I do think it's not concrete enough. It's not everywhere enough. The results can vary too much. So I think there's too many exceptions for it to be a concrete theory, but I do think there is truth to it.
And so with that, I will also give up my closing arguments for my theory. When I was a young boy, I watched Funny Family Guy on Netflix because it was one of the first adult animations that my parents allowed me to watch. And so I enjoyed the first 3 seasons, as everyone says are good, but I also tended to enjoy the later seasons as well, prevalently going up to season 9. After that was when I stopped watching Family Guy until after I hit the YouTube reviewer phase of my life. And so I found that when I went back after watching YouTube reviewers, that tainted my vision of Family Guy as I knew it. I didn't like seasons 4 through 9 as much as I had previously, and whether that be towards growing up and just not finding it funny anymore, or whether it be the fact that I was told that it wasn't funny, which had more effect. And I truly believe that it is that I was told it was not funny.
Any further closing thoughts?
Yes. I think there's something that we haven't talked about. What if this whole premise of the Macfarlane paradox is wrong? What if a Family Guy clip out of context is not funny? What if I don't laugh? And if the real determination if for something is funny or not is if you laugh or if you don't laugh. So if you don't laugh at our podcast, we'll fucking kill you. We'll fucking kill you. You better laugh at the fucking podcast, you piece of shit.
So, in the end, the Seth Macfarlane paradox will never be resolved. It will require the world's biggest brains in order to solve it.
Yes, people that, the writers of, like, Godzilla vs. Kong, all those guys, we're going to need their collective brain power on this.
Smartest man on earth. The biggest brains.
Stephen Hawking's ghost. Get him on that. Yeah, and now we must simply let the paradox rest where it is, I think.
Yes.
But we could just talk about Simpsons and Family Guy in general, because I think there's a few things there, especially the decline of all these shows is interesting. I do wonder sometimes, is any show fated to decline in that way, or is it possible to keep it up? Could there be a Simpsons with 30 seasons of good stuff? Is that possible?
Yeah, I suppose it'll be alright to take off my professor's cap and speak as the laymen do.
Layman came in.
Oh no!
I forget that they're not English majors sometimes, and I have to dumb down the vocabulary for these two.
I'm gonna dumb down my fist in your face, buddy.
That's exactly what a violent ape would say. With the shows, Well, that was kind of an interesting thing you brought up. I have kind of a controversial take, which is that I really prefer shows to end when it's right. Some people think that's crazy. It's like, wait a minute, you like this thing, they're making more of the thing, but you want them to stop making the thing, even though you like it. People don't understand where I'm coming from. But for me, the reason I feel that way is because I think the pain of an unsatisfying ending, it's like radioactive waste. It ruins the present of the show, the future of the show, and in some cases, even the past of the show. And I think an unsatisfying ending, can change everything about a show. And because of that, it's the most important part. You need to stick the landing, right? Getting a plane off the ground, that's impressive, right? But the thing people are paying you for, the thing you're trained for, is landing the plane safely and everyone gets off happy. That's the important part. If you say, well, I got the plane off the ground in record time, and then it crashes in a firing wreck, no one's going to say you did a good job, right? You need things to end well. And that's why I'm okay with that, Shows like Gravity Falls and Breaking Bad, like those shows, the creators literally had a specific number in mind. Gravity Falls, Alex Hirsch, he said, I only want the show to be like 3 seasons. It takes place over 1 summer. That's it. And Breaking Bad, he said 5 seasons was like roughly what he had in mind, and that he didn't really want to go on past that, even though he certainly could have. Both of them certainly could have extended the show. Yeah, so that's kind of my feelings on that.
I don't believe that is a controversial opinion, at least here. I can definitely see it being controversial to everyone else in public.
Yeah. I agree.
But
too.
I do prefer to see a show end on a high note than miserably die and just be a corpse walking like The Walking Dead.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like life. I mean, not to get deep here, but just like you want to live a certain amount of time and you want it to be good and you want to enjoy everything, but if you drag it out, if you say you have cancer and you're in pain, you do want to die. I mean, you do want it to be over. You don't want to be your last 2 years to be in pain. It causes you suffering and it causes the people around you to suffer. Everything has an ending. Everything must end. The Simpsons will eventually end, whether we like it or not. We can't imagine it, but it will. And the ending should come in a graceful and a peaceful way instead of a painful way filled with suffering. And that's the same thing with shows. Like things are destined to decline eventually, and we have to appreciate them when they're good, right? I fear It's Always Sunny may be heading downhill if it goes on too long. It's been renewed for a few more seasons, and I'm just afraid, because how many ideas do you have? How many things can you do with a single concept, a single premise? It all kind of falls apart eventually. And you have to stop it before it goes there.
I think and that goes back to our original topic, Family Guy and The Simpsons. The reason specifically these shows struggle, and why you were saying, hypothetically, could there be a version of them that continues on for this long and is still good? And, the reason for that is it's all about your premise, right?
Yes.
And it's the premise that sets up your show, and it's the premise that limits you. Because it all just depends on what your premise is. For example, some premises are more open-ended and some are more closed-ended, right? Like, let's say, say it's like a fantasy show, right? And it's like our young hero is looking for the warlord that killed his father, and now he's trying to get his revenge, right? Obviously, that premise comes with a built-in conclusion. Eventually, the hero will either succeed in killing the villain, or maybe he will be felled by the villain, right? Right, built into the premise. There's an ending built in there, right? Which means they'll probably be able to guide it to a good conclusion. But with Simpsons and Family Guy, their premises are much more open. Both of them have literally the exact same premise, which is a wacky family in a small but wacky town live their lives. That's it. There's a lot of directions you can take that, and that's why these shows are good to start. Because in the beginning, there's so many ideas for them to explore, right? Because they don't set any limitations on themselves with their premise. Then that comes to bite them in the ass, so to speak. Because after a while, it's like, wow, we've kind of run through all the major ideas. If only we had a good, solid way to end this arc, right? You know, there is no villain they've been looking for the whole time. So now it's like, now we have to create our own ending point and start building up to that out of nowhere. Or we can just keep the money train going and let's see just how much we can stretch time. And so they try and stretch time and they run out of premises. And very important for both these shows, there is a moment called jumping the shark. You two fellas heard of this term?
Of course.
The origin of which comes from like the 70s. There was a sitcom called Happy Days, which is, supposed to be American kids living their life. Nothing super crazy happens. But one episode, the local bad boy, the Fonz, he actually, in his motorcycle, jumps over a pit with a shark in it. And this moment left people going, wait a minute, this is a show about American teenagers in the 70s. Why is there people jumping sharks and motorcycles? That makes no sense. And that creates this line of jumping the shark, where a show does something so outlandish because they've run out of ideas that it marks a notable decline in the show, where it's like, okay, now they've used up all the obvious ideas. They've used up all the obvious ideas, and now they're being forced to resort to crazy stuff. And you can see this in any show that goes on too long, but Family Guy and Simpsons especially have things like this.
I
Absolutely.
don't think that there's any other way that we could have put that. I think that was very well explained.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, very simply, a lot of these shows, creative starts, it was driven more by the art itself, I guess, and the people behind it than nowadays. Like Simpsons is just on there for money. I mean, the creators is like barely involved. Family Guy too. It's like they don't give a shit now. The only purpose for this is to make money. It's no artistic vision involved at this point.
And with something like The Simpsons that's gone on so long, it reaches a rare precedent where the voice actors are legitimately becoming old.
They're dying.
Voice actors and we're not talking about actors that started old. We're talking about actors that started as adults, like regular adults, and have now become old over the course of the show. This isn't something that happens very often, but sadly, given how many reboots and sequels and bringing back characters that we see these days, it's actually becoming more prevalent of a problem. Like, we're seeing, stuff like that. And, sometimes it's okay. But, if you push it too much, it can be kind of hard. Like with Breaking Bad, there's the character of Mike, who's already a over middle-aged man. He's not necessarily an elder yet, but he's pretty close to that, right? And he's like that in Breaking Bad. But then, now we're like 7 years past that, and he's still in Better Call Saul, which is a great show, and I love this character. But I'm simply talking about aging in the sense that now, he's technically playing a younger version of himself, but he's physically older. Mm-hmm. And in shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy, the characters aren't aging, they're staying the same age. But obviously their actors are not staying the same age. As a matter of fact, I would almost ask the listener, those that have seen Simpsons before, to watch a modern episode and listen to Marge's voice actor.
Yes.
I believe she has been impacted the most. And it's kind of sad, because, her voice is obviously, actually doing that voice, we do our joke impressions. Oh, homie. But, actually doing the real voice for, hours at a time must be very strenuous, right?
Decades.
Yeah, now she's doing it for decades, and she's old. Her voice just sounds weak and kind of hoarse and scratchy, and it makes me feel bad for her.
Absolutely. Sounds like someone's doing a bad impression. I was about to bring that up, man. It's just sad.
Yeah, just with stuff like that, that just tells you, if your actors are legitimately becoming so old that it's starting to affect their job performance, maybe that's a sign that you've been on too long, pal, Come on, that's ludicrous. 99% of shows do not have this problem. I think when and this is kind of sad, I'm not really happy about it, but I do think it's accurate, unfortunately. I don't think the show will stop. Honest to God, I don't think it will stop until the voice actor for one of the 4 Simpsons dies. I genuinely don't think it'll stop until that point.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think they will, but there is a chance they could even continue without them, if I'm being completely honest. It's not pretty, it's disrespectful, and it's gross. But we're CGIing in dead actors. We're taking old sound files and putting them together all the time now.
And even if Matt Groening died, it wouldn't matter. I mean, look at SpongeBob. I mean, the creator of that died, and they fucking kept it going, and I think they're making spin-offs.
Yeah, there's 2 spin-offs
going
in the works.
specifically against his wishes.
Yes, it is.
They don't give a shit, man.
Yeah, the SpongeBob example, yes, is very, very gross. Man, that always makes me upset to think about.
Absolutely.
But with The Simpsons, so it could happen with The Simpsons. It could. But I do think that is the most likely end for them.
It is the best way to give a respectful ending to the people. I mean, ending the show, man. You wouldn't want a new Homer.
But unfortunately, you put themselves terrible, in this weird position where the same thing happened in actually the newest Star Wars films. You know, we want to talk about series that maybe have gone on too long. It's hard to say. But Carrie Fisher, unfortunately, passing away in real life, that left sort of an awkward goodbye to her character because she was dead. She wasn't able to actually film, her character's dying. So they had to use CGI and they had to recycle old voice lines, and so stuff like that, it's better the actor's there. Like if you want to have a character die in the show, it's better to actually have the character be there, and so they can actually be doing it instead of having to phone in lines. So that's something you want to try and avoid. I don't even think they would end the show with like one of the Simpsons dying. I mean, people have been trying to figure out how the Simpsons even will end, not even just when, but like how.
How is it even
How
possible?
do you tell a story that ends like that?
My guess would be they move out of Springfield.
Maybe. So do you think
it'd be a bittersweet ending where it's the main characters are saying their last goodbyes because Homer gets a new job and so they have to move, and Mr. Burns finally goes, Homer, I think you were a good employee while you're here. And then it's bittersweet, everyone's saying their goodbyes, they leave, that's the end.
Apu says
wow, I mean, I guess maybe he could say that, but maybe not on air.
Yeah, that's
But I do like your theory there, and I do think that's probably the best thing. But it's hard. They've literally done multiple episodes where they've left Springfield, and they've done episodes where it's the future and they're all grown up. So it's like they've actually technically done both those ideas already.
yeah.
But it's still, I don't think you have a bad theory.
Yeah. Either way, I think our discussion on how things should inevitably end and try to end it when it's good and it's not rotting away, I think that's important for our discussion too. And I think we should end it right now, actually.
Yeah, well, however, right before we end it, I will bring up, I like that you brought up SpongeBob, because SpongeBob, I think, is the rare exception to this idea that a show goes on for too long, that it becomes bad. SpongeBob recently has made a huge comeback, huge turnaround in quality. And I think that warrants another discussion, whether it be on mic or off mic.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
So I don't think I could talk about it much.
Yeah, I haven't. I've only seen a few. The modern episodes I saw were like 2 years ago, so I couldn't really say. I mean, I kind of doubt it, to be honest with you. I kind of find that hard to believe, especially with the spin-offs and the work. But
I'm not excited about the spin-offs, but the actual SpongeBob SquarePants part is...
I don't know. I kind of have my doubts.
The main show did
skeptical.
a turnaround. I think it's better than it was in the middle seasons. That's a genuine take from me. That's not me shitting on my ass. It did a turnaround.
Shitting out of my mouth. You're shitting out of your ass. It's like, no, I'm shitting out of my ass.
That'd actually be like a really good like a wordplay. Someone says, "Oh, I was just pulling out my ass." No, I think you were shitting out of your ass.
Well,
I think that you were saying that modern Family Guy is still good. You're saying that modern SpongeBob's still good. I think you might just have.
Sure, I agree.
think you might just have a bad sense of comedy.
Oh shit!
maybe you like Big Mouth. Maybe I just don't like your humor, man.
Oh
Crap,
my
I forgot
god!
about that.
I'm stuck in the Seth Macfarlane paradox.